Hey, I've got a new webcam and it's a little awkward. It's another Logitech. I thought it would be a really good one. I think it's a 943C or something like that. But anyway, it's limited. It's really limited in what it can do compared to the one that I had. Anywho, what do I have to say? We're in a solar wind. For those of you unaware, if maybe you're feeling your aches and pains a little more than usual, or just kind of feel sore here and there, it manifests that way for me a lot. It hasn't been this time, but anyway, for the last couple of days, we've had a solar wind. Kismet? No, no. Thank you. No, no. Kismet. Okay. You can see him back there. I don't want to mess with where I've got it setting right now. It's kind of precariously perched. Anyway, we have not only the solar wind, but today, tomorrow, and the next day, we have the exactitude of the Grand Cross at 13 degrees in all the cardinal signs. And some pretty heavy-duty planets making that cross, not the moon or Mars or Venus, the fast-moving ones. It's the big boys. So it has an extra weight. Now, we've been feeling that. Probably, it depends on how sensitive you are, days, weeks, months. It's a big thing. And you can expect to continue to feel different for a period of time following the exactitude of the Grand Cross. It's bringing changes our way, but it's in a little bit of an uncomfortable configuration, being the oppositions and squares instead of the friendly trines and sextiles and so on. So you may feel edgy or irritable, or it's just the energy wanting to move, and there's nothing bad, nothing wrong with it. It's not you, it's everyone. So if we depersonalize these things, how we're feeling, uh, I love the time that we're in, this time of the sorting out and everything coming home to roost where its true native vibration is. And so there's a lot of waking up going on. And there's a lot of misbehavior going on too, because, we're all not going in the same direction. And so whoever we are, this is a really good time to be exercising our free will choice and not necessarily following anyone or anything. History won't really relate to what's going on here. What's going on here somehow, some way is different. And I can't tell you how. It's just sensings that I get. There's not sufficient clarity for me to share more, or I would. One thing I wanted to share, and it's kind of a big thing. I have found a way to be happy pretty much all the time. No, let me change the way I said that. I have found that happiness or joy is available to us at all times, in all situations and circumstances. Now, I know that the mind will reject that and say that's nuts if you're getting your head cut off or, something really bad happening. That doesn't work. Well, get out of your head. Of course, get into your heart. Where else would you be if you're on this channel, huh? Our mood is our choice. And so all of us have various momentums going on the way that we've been, on the way it was always done, on the way our family always did it, on how mom always wanted this done, and so those things, as long as they're active in our awareness, will put up some resistance. They, there's a tendency to do what you've always done. But we know that when we do that, we get what we always got. And I don't think any of us are really happy with the whole world situation right now. I think that we wish that every mother and father could feed, clothe, and house their child or children, and that war needs to be a thing of the past. My God, aren't we adults? Can't we come to the table and talk? And the ones running things do not have the kind of morals, ethics, and judgment that reflect us. They can't speak for us. And so right now we've got a situation where there are a lot of people around the world prejudiced against the United States because of what the creeps who are running things are doing, and how they're misbehaving in the world and doing that in the name of the USA. I'm going to say that more than 50% of the people are totally against that. You would be surprised, dear foreign friends, if you would come here and live here for a year or so. You would get the inside picture of how badly Americans are manipulated. All right? And I'm not going to cry the poor me thing. I'm just saying that we are abused too. So, where am I going with this? So, how to be happy in the midst of what looks like unhappiness? Anybody comfortable with that? Anybody done the deep inner work to find out that the source of happiness is not external, that it's within? See, if it's within, then it's an obvious next step that, well, that means it's in my control. It's in my control. And so, I mean, I'll openly admit that I have found, I'm not listening to any of the gurus anymore, any of the teachers. I like them all. They're wonderful. I'm just no longer interested in their wares. So there's Muji, and there's Eckhart, and there's Adyashanti, and this one and that. And sometimes, sometimes I'll listen to their stuff, but mostly not. I'm finding my contentment and my guidance within. You wish that you could just wrap it up and put a bow on it and give it away. Wouldn't it be nice if it worked like that? So what I started to say was I love listening to Abraham-Hicks speaking through Esther Hicks. I don't find there's anything there for the mind. There's nothing factual. I find it's a beingness that's conveyed in their work. And to me, it's just beautiful. It lifts me. And when we're lifted like that, that's not meant to be an unusual state. That's our normal state. That's more who and what we are than anything else. So I'm just going to blanket recommend listening to Abraham-Hicks. If you've got several things that are kind of difficult to listen to, but that you want to listen to them because you want to stay posted on the news or whatever, what I do is I intersperse it with Abraham vids so that I develop the momentum that I have chosen, which is to be happy. And my being unhappy doesn't give happiness to the world. My being happy doesn't take happiness from the world. It's just an inside job, this happiness thing. And no one can give it to you but you. And it's there like 24/7. And it's really easy. Things get simpler and simpler. On the one hand, you see deeper into things, and the depth of amazing complexity reveals itself. On the other hand, it's so simple that it doesn't even take words. I mean, it's just too obvious. So, I guess it takes realizing that you do craft your own reality. You do create it. You don't create the whole thing. You create your perspective on it, your experience of it. And that can be whatever you want it to be. And so you can always, if you're looking at something that's making you uncomfortable, look within and find a different perspective to take. There are infinite angles of vision possible on things. And something that can look really negative to the mind, such as, here's an example, having a bad dream. And I got this one from Abraham, but right now I feel so merged with that energy, I don't know the difference. Okay, so you have a bad dream and you wake up and you were misbehaving in the dream and you feel terrible about that and you're tempted to just beat up on yourself and, oh, maybe I don't have the development spiritually that I thought I did, yada, yada, yada. That would be mind. But see, it's a choice. You don't have to listen to that kind of garbage. It's a choice. What other perspectives are there on this? One of them is you did a really good thing. It's really good that you woke yourself up and you did not let whatever it was continue. So for that, you can pat yourself on the back for your advancement and development and ability to take control of a situation like that. So, especially once we discover that there is no death, that's just an illusory thing that's been used to kind of manipulate and control us in a lot of different ways. But it's not real. We're spirit and it can't be exterminated. It can't be killed. And so as soon as you die, you wake up again. This is a dream. This is very much a dream. And weird things happen in it all the time because we're all creating our own unique individual reality. And it's what you're open to is what comes to you. They call it the law of attraction. But it's really, what are you open to? What's okay with you? Wherever we've got fear, those things need to be looked at. Or not. I mean, sometimes you need to get into it and see what's acting there. Trust that it's always in you. And sometimes, just think on something that brings you joy. Choose to step out of that energy and enter into a higher frequency or a more coherent one. Okay? I don't mean to be lecturing or anything. It's just so wonderful to be feeling like this pretty much all the time. And I don't yet know how to talk about it. I've changed a lot. I'm sure we all have. Nobody's going through this alone. And I think most of us are awake to that. And so I can't tell you where I am now. Things have changed too significantly. But I picked the one thing that maybe I like the best. And that is the ability to always choose a path of joy, no matter what. And mind will argue, and I won't listen to it. You do what you will. My way is to choose what feels good. And do like Joseph Campbell said, follow your bliss. So that's my hearty recommendation. So go listen to Abraham and follow your bliss. Namaste.